You got
I'm
that?
competent.
You got
I know
that?
how to do
you
things.
got that? You got it? You're competent. I can do
Whoop.
it. Whoop, whoop, whoop,
Oh,
whoop.
it's not even playing, is it?
What?
That's fine. We don't need
No, it
to...
is.
Oh, it was?
It did. Yeah, it did.
Oh.
You are so
Hello.
competent today. How are you?
Welcome back to episode 82 of Read This Way. Wow, dude, I just realized, like, between, like, my screen and your screen, I'm so well lit and you're just, like, in the shadows.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird because, yeah, you kind of blend in very
projecting
well.
from my cave.
Nice.
No, it's not really. It's my shed, but it's
main cave.
poorly lit shed. I got some lighting issues that's happening at the moment. So when I flick the lights on, I'm like, you're really washed out, and I can't tune it correctly. So
yeah,
I need
my
to
ring light. I can
fix
only
it.
now turn it off or on. There is no changing its brightness or color. So
Yeah.
that's why I'm so well lit. There's no other choice.
Which is fine. It suits. You've got bright colors and you got bright background, and it suits.
I also can't turn it off without unplugging it because
that's all right.
none of the buttons work anymore for some reason.
You push too hard.
It was
because you only buy high quality equipment.
I was just about to say it was cheap shit from Kmart. I think I spent $20 on it.
If that. Hello, everyone.
Like $19.99.
we're here to talk about manga and anime, not lighting arrangements so much.
Episode 82.
82.
Yeah. Little bit of news. Talking about some new series, or at least new ones that we've got into. My Hero Organization is pretty new. Centuria's been running for about a year. But
yeah.
Yeah.
Bug Ego, we didn't talk about that last week though.
We did.
Did we?
Yeah, we talked about the first chapter.
Okay. Well, you've read it now though.
No, I'd read the first chapter. I just hadn't read anything past that.
I'd read past. Yeah.
You did.
Cool, cool. That's all right. I remember things. I promise.
Alrighty.
Oh man.
Hey, Nerd Burger. Oh, that's not how you spell Bradley.
What? So, where are we starting? News, reading.
What did you say? I'm sorry.
News or reading? Where are we starting?
Go reading.
Go reading. I haven't been reading much. Sorry,
I'm still chugging along with Kagurabachi.
Yeah, look, besides all the regular stuff. So if we want to go down the path of just general updates on what's happening on the active publications, Sakamoto's still killing it. Oh my god, the action in Sakamoto.
The dude just gets his neck snapped.
It was so quick and it was so fantastic. He just turns up behind him and goes, snap.
Enough. Stay down.
I finished playing with you. It's time to get rid of you. But it was the scene where he pulls the helicopter out of the air to stop the boat. Was something else. It kind of reminded me of the scene with the car off the bridge.
Makes no sense anymore, but I love it.
It does. It kind of makes sense. He used the propeller from the helicopter to slow the boat down.
Sure.
I think it works. That's all that matters. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
But it was great. I loved it. It was classic Sakamoto. Good stuff.
Oh my god! I applied deep heat because my back's still messed up and my eyes are stinging.
You put a bit much on?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure I'm like creating a war crime just in my studio at the moment.
probably. That
Office,
stuff
whatever you
that
want to call
stings
it.
your eyes.
I've got
Crazy.
I've got the extra strength just
Oh,
because
even worse.
yeah.
Yeah,
So I'm just getting menthol wafting up, bouncing between my lenses. It's great.
excellent. Keep on blinking. Just keep blinking. It'll be okay.
So we will be getting a one shot follow up epilogue released in June the 4th for My Hero Academia as well.
Is this to
No
stop
one
all those
knows,
memes going around?
those memes are mean and unnecessary.
Exactly.
He doesn't
I
end up at
think
McDonald's. If essentially he turns into like Iron Man, he
yeah.
relies solely on a suit.
Yeah. Which makes sense for him.
Yeah, I
Because
mean,
he still knows
and
how to do all the stuff. He just doesn't have the powers to go with it.
yeah,
Yeah.
which is cool. But and he was kind of doing the wasn't substitute teaching, but it wasn't. I don't think he was full time teaching either. Um, but yeah, he was teaching at UA, but
Yeah.
everyone started clowning that he was basically just working 9 to 5 McDonald's jobs, which was funny. Uh, but I think this might be the second one, or it got leaked. I can't remember which.
Okay.
Yeah,
And this
but
this could be good.
this
Help
could also be
solidify.
leading into a new series.
Oh yeah.
People are suspecting that it could be the bridge to like a Boruto treatment.
Okay. The children of. Look, it's a continuous environment. It's just going to keep
I
churning out heroes one after the other. So it's always going to
prefer
be there.
I prefer if he did something different, because I think that was what was so nice and refreshing about Vigilantes, is that it wasn't in a school setting,
Yeah.
and just move on.
Yeah,
I'd
let's get
love
out
to
of the
see
school a little
like
bit.
jump ahead like 10 years or whatever and do like another story post everyone aging up a bit and them being adults, like age
Yeah,
the
and
series up with the audience.
give us a next serious threat, but not as serious as the last one.
I mean, I wouldn't mind if they did something like that with like went alongside the Boruto route, but if they did, it would probably be a school setting again or something equivalent to.
Yeah.
And I just don't know how much more you can extrapolate on what he already did in the main series now.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it'd be good to see the characters again and see what they're up to. A few series are doing these epilogue chapters post not cancellation, since post finishing.
Yeah.
Like Attack on Titan did one. Undead Unlock has done one as well, that will be releasing with the final tankobon. I can't remember. I feel like there was another one as well, but yeah, it seems to be like a bit more of a new age jump, especially if they get cancelled. Actually, that's how they push in the final
Yeah.
sales on the cancelled manga, like Aliens Area 10. Did Temaku have? Not
No, we got a
Temaku.
proper finish of Tenmaku.
The Ginkgo and Luna, that's the one I meant.
Yeah.
That's got an extra chapter in its final tankobon as well.
Hoping to push the
Yeah,
sales a little bit more.
yeah.
It's a bit rude. I think it's a little bit rude.
It is. It feels like salt in the wound.
It does. It's kind of like, oh, well, if you can't even, support yourself. You said you had some numbers
I did, yeah.
about this sort of stuff.
Well, no, because I thought it was cancelled series, but I incorrectly thought that New Age Exorcist had been finished already. But
It's finishing up. But I'd be curious to see the numbers that kill these series.
Yeah.
You know, these series that are constantly well received overseas, but then canned.
A lot of the numbers that get released as well are only estimations, so they're not even really that public about it in Japan either.
Yeah. Man, everything has to be $1 billion output, doesn't it? Where are the risks?
So you read a few chapters of Centuria?
Yeah. I got there. I got 7 in. 6, 7 in. 6, 7. 7. I think it's 7.
What do you think?
Really cool. It's a lot more action.
Talk it up too much, right?
Like I think you talked it up the right amount, and I think people have been. This is gonna sound crazy, but I think people have been disregarding this because the little icon, the little display icon, and the description of the series makes it sound like a period piece.
It kind of is.
It is, but it makes it sound more like a serious drama.
Yeah.
You know, piece opposed to a fantasy action series. This thing is a very fantasy, very action series, and they don't wait around. I
didn't realize how much. I suppose you're still pretty early on. But they expand a lot more into like a power system that people have like I said last week, like the king got his in a deal the same way as Julian. And then he's passed his down through genetics. So his kids have variations of his gift. We've seen 2 of his kids both manipulating water, similar to like water bending, and like blood bending, which was super cool. So can only assume that the king has something to do with water as well. But
so just I know I'm relatively early on, but do tell me if I'm wrong. Julian's power is the power of 100 people.
Yeah. He has the speed, endurance, strength, and their
collected
lives.
Intelligence. Yeah, the collected experience of 100 lives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's just really superhuman. Like he doesn't have any mystical.
One of the very first,
mystical, but you know.
Yeah. The whole thing's mystical. But one of the first beasts that they encounter, which is the weird multi-headed wolf in the.
Yeah, how cool is that design?
It's really, really cool. And I like the fact that it had no eyes and it had to sniff them. The whole thing was a great concept.
It kind of reminded me of like the start of Red Hood.
Yeah. It's got that. It does have that vibe to it. I don't know if the author's any relation to. But the Beast mentioned that he had 100 lives, which means he could have 100 deaths. So he's not invulnerable.
Yeah,
because he gets reborn each time. Does that mean he loses a person each time he dies? So I wonder what the mythos behind it would be. If he got down to 10 lives, does that mean he's only got 10 collected consciousness with him?
Yes.
Does that mean his power then degrades?
It doesn't seem to degrade his strength or endurance or anything. He just has that counter. And
at the moment,
the consciousnesses of those people seem to cross over. Now, the weird thing is even by where you're up to, dude should have died a few times.
Yeah,
Like,
I was pulling the he should have drowned there, but then it mentioned later on that he could
oh
breathe
yes,
underwater.
actually, I did forget about that. He
Yeah.
can breathe underwater because he's blessed by the ocean. I
Yeah.
did forget. Yeah. So he's currently a really, really good matchup for the King's Children. Because water.
Can't hurt me unless you
But
waterbend me.
yeah, I can't remember how early it is, but I think it's in the first 10 chapters. Something happens to Julian, and one of the consciousnesses does like a crossover thing, and that sort of seemed to symbolize that was the first of his deaths. But he got stabbed through the neck on the ship. He got messed up a
But
few
he
different
didn't
times.
die. He didn't die because he heals really quick.
True. So it's kind of, unless it's directly stated, I feel, then
Yeah.
that's the only time that it's counting as a death.
He did lose the right eye.
Ooh. So when he
you can
can
leave it for me
lose
to
parts.
see. Oh yeah, okay. He can lose parts.
So he can lose parts. Like his eye does end up being gone for a bit, but after he dies that first time and fully regenerates,
rebirths,
everything comes back. But it seems like his eye is like he's still blind in that eye. They haven't touched on it. It's just kind of drawn a little different than the other one. Yeah. I like how a lot of things aren't fully explained.
Yeah, I love that stuff. When it's just got a little bit of explanation, that's all I need. I just want the fun
it breadcrumbs really well. Centuria is definitely my standout title on Manga Plus at the moment. Like the ones that's not in the
main
book
group.
Yeah.
It's definitely on my radar now too, and I will be catching up. And
that's still up there.
Reading, this is the thing.
Centuria
between Mad and Centuria, we're getting some really different material.
How cool was the scene where Julian's holding the baby and he's like, "What are you looking at? There's nothing there."
Yeah,
and then
twice.
he like turns around
twice.
And it's just the demon goat, and you just
yeah.
Some of those impact scenes are just incredible.
There's some nice work. Some nice work. Yeah. Keep it up. So I hope it keeps going. I really do.
Are you just past the forest god thing?
Yeah.
Well,
they just finished up the wolf forest god.
Because then there's the other god of the forest that comes out that's like on par with the one that blessed Julian.
Yeah.
It's just like wrecks him.
I love that moment when Julian was coming to catch up with them, and the bear jumps out, and he just thumps it in the face as he's running past. I'm just like, that is hilarious. It's completely unnecessary. Because it's like one panel and it just passes through.
And the direct comparison between how they cross paths with the bear earlier was just like, it's fine. We're just passing through. Be calm.
Yeah. Settle down. He's like, coming through. Biffs him in the face.
Even though it is like a dark
cool
fantasy,
humor to
it's got some real nice comedy bits.
Yeah.
And just the heart to it is just so gorgeous. You really feel like you latch onto Julian as a protagonist pretty quickly, just with the amount of shit that he goes through.
Now, I'm not saying on a story basis or a character basis, but like on a vibe basis, it's given me a little bit of Golden Kamuy.
Yeah. It's definitely not as goof, but it's definitely in there.
Not yet.
Yeah.
it might add a bit more goof to it, but it's that swing between goof and serious and action that keeps happening.
Which
and it's a
I
good
mean, your
mix and a
Vinland
good
Saga
pace.
and your Berserk don't really
Yeah.
have.
No, they're all pretty serious. No, Berserk's not all that serious.
I mean, season 2 of Vinland Saga has its moments, but that's because it's like so detached from war.
Yeah, it is. It's a nice little farming piece. It's a farming drama.
It's therapy.
Bros. It's just bros hanging out.
There's really not a lot in the way of news. There is a cancellation for a Jump Plus title, Mugger Scramble. I didn't read any of this one. It's ending just after 17 chapters.
Mugger I don't think that really came up on my radar.
It looks like a bit of a rom-com.
Okay.
Maybe?
Is it Shonen
I don't know,
Jump
it's hard
only?
to tell. Hey?
Is that Shonen Jump only?
Plus.
It's on Plus. How do you spell it?
Magorro Scramble.
Ah, yeah. I saw that picture and went, "That's a comedy. I'm cool."
It looks like
slapsticky.
Yeah.
So and it's sad that it's finishing up, but it's definitely not my thing.
Apparently Tokyo Underworld has been axed as well.
That one that's been running for ages and nobody ever talks about, except for you.
Yeah, the weird slasher one.
Yeah,
I was reading it for a while, but I did drop off because it did just get very secular.
samey. Yeah.
And it just it was so. This is like something about like those culling game type.
Yeah.
Things.
There's only so much you can. There's so long you can go for. Without some more
like the escalation and the cringe factor of it, but I did enjoy like it up until a point. But there was a scene, not a scene. I got to the end of the shopping mall arc, which I think was a good like 30 chapters in. They're like hunting them in a shopping mall, and it gets really weird, like Shotokan sort of giant lady fawning over like one specific young boy, and also wanting to turn him into a handbag or something. It was weird.
That does sound weird.
I finished that one up, and then I just it lost me. Going into the next little arc, I was just like, I think I'm done.
Also,
it's fun though.
Yeah. Speaking of series that you got done with relatively quickly, Wild Strawberry.
I really need to go. I want to go back to it. I know. It started really strong for me, and then I dropped it for some reason. I think when it started to weirdly, it started to feel a bit Fire Force-y, which isn't necessarily a negative.
That stays for like 10 chapters, and things just get turned upside down and go sideways.
Damn it! I don't know. It felt like
I was reading it, and it went, now we need to get you to join this force. You need to go to this school so you can go with us on these missions. And he's like, yeah, okay, I'll do that. I'm like, oh no, now we're going to go down the road of it being a school series. And no, he basically gets fed into a blender where they take like 100 of these kids that want to be a part of this force of people, and they basically all die.
Cool.
because there's this big giant underlying plot about them feeding off the nutrients of the kids that keep going there to try and do these trials. Yeah, it's really, really mad. And it's the action's really good. Guts everywhere. Characters die left, right, and center. It's actually really, really, really over the top and crazy. Hey, Jack.
What's going on, man?
So it's I highly recommend. I thought it was actually starting to finish up the way they were headed, but it looks like they've actually just started to ramp up. So I'm hoping that it does keep going and it keeps pushing forwards because it's got some really nice artwork. It's got some cool style to it.
I reckon that will be the next one that I try and catch up on.
Yeah, I enjoy it thoroughly. Another one that you need to catch up on is Trojan X.
Yeah, it is.
Because something really, 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 really big is about to happen that I can't talk to you about because you haven't read the other 40 chapters beforehand.
I'm sure it's not that bad. It might be that
bad. It's probably more because, they're 80-page chapters, remember?
Well, I mean, so it doesn't sound that bad when I say that I'm only up to chapter 52, and they're up to 61. But with all the point ones and point twos and point threes.
Yeah, it's not a normal series, this one.
0.4.
I like the way he's numbering things, actually. He's kind of going by mini arcs and arc pieces instead of by chapters.
I've still got like 20 chapters of Kagurabachi to catch up on.
Oh, yeah.
What's the one we were just talking about?
Wild
Strawberry.
And Wild Strawberry.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, you read like 5 chapters, man.
9, thank you.
9, sorry. Sorry.
I thought I read a lot more than that.
No. You did catch up on Ultimate Exorcist. Did you read any more of that?
I'm about 5 chapters in.
Okay.
It's pretty fun so far.
I'm reading too much.
I know we've kind of like shifted places now.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I've been consuming a bit of stuff. I've also been reading Hellsing, and I've been reading Breaker. And they're older series that you can find around, but
how old's Breaker? Isn't it current anime season or last season?
No, Breaker is a
different Breaker.
The Breaker, so it's a manhwa. It's a Korean series.
Oh, right, that's
from
right.
A while back, and it's the kind of action that I really enjoy, which is so it is comparable to Solo Leveling. So it's a power system, right? So this kid who's been bullied, typical Korean, starting point. He's been bullied in school, wants to get stronger. And one of the teachers at the school he discovers is a martial artist, so he gets him to try and teach him how to do martial arts. The teacher keeps refusing him, which ensues a series of almost GTO-like environments. It's actually rather comedy-driven first up and very school-based between the student and this teacher. And then you find out that his teacher is actually a part of a secret society of martial artists that run the world in parallel to the regular government. But they don't go by the regular rules of everyday humans. Everything is a power-based game. So if you're damn good at martial arts, you can basically make your way up the ladder. And it's crazy. And it just scales his power up. Basically, he's given power. He's got no He's got no ability whatsoever, and he's given power via a drug, a supplement that gets put into his body. It's a secret supplement that holds all this chakra, key ability, and gets put into him. And they have to teach him how to control that first before they can teach him any martial arts. So it's kind of called the Breaker because he breaks all the time. And now
so
this
straight up like just Deku.
Yeah, almost identical to Deku in the power system, where when he throws a punch, his hand explodes and bleeds everywhere. And if he runs really fast, his legs start to bleed. So it's basically Deku's power. Oh my god, I just realized how similar that is.
I'm
but
sure
it predates it like by 15 years. And it just follows him spiraling down into this society that is trying to track down his teacher, who is not the guy he thought he was. He's actually called the Nine Arts Dragon, which is a title given to someone who's mastered 9 separate forms of martial arts. So the dude's like mega dangerous.
Cool.
And I'm not talking the old school poke them in the spots like that. No, this guy like stomps on people's heads and completely rips arms off and does all the terrible, terrible things that you would expect from someone in his position.
It's kind of like more like Baki.
Yeah, Baki level martial arts. But there's actually 3 series of it out. And each series is like about 120, 130 chapters each. So it's a bit similar to Chainsaw Man, where it's like does a series, which is a big arc, and then it follows up with another series, which is a separate arc. And the series usually follow a different character after the events of the previous one, which is kind of interesting. Instead of following the same characters all the time, you get a mix, just different perspective from what's going on. It's really cool. Fantastic art, though. Beautiful action.
So similar to like how they Fujimoto handled part 1 to part 2 sort of thing.
Similar sort of scenario where it's following the story along, but from a different perspective. Yeah.
Speaking of, actually, oh no, we'll keep that towards the end because that's spoilery.
I guess.
Yeah, a little bit.
I mean, if you're up to date,
the chapter only came out today.
Yeah, okay. We're just a little excited. Nice.
We're talking about Hero Organization because I read the first chapter of that. That was really fun. It's not, but every time I would what?
Have you just read the first chapter?
Yeah, just the first chapter.
Oh. So you haven't actually read it yet?
What do you mean?
It's a prologue, man. It skips like 20 years after that chapter.
Okay. So while I was reading through that first chapter, I was unsure who the main pro tag was going to be, whether it was going to be son or dad. And I'm like, nah, it feels like we're going to focus on the son more as a pro tag. We're going to time skip and it'll be like, we'll focus mainly on him. And I was actually chatting to Jack about it today. And he was like, that's what happens. I was like, oh, cool. And so the main reason I couldn't tell who to latch onto was because we're latching onto both. Yeah.
It wants you to latch onto the dad first. For very good reason, because after you've read that first chapter, you understand why they want you to latch onto the dad and get an emotional bond, because you need actually that for the rest of the story, because it pushes the story along.
Right.
What happens to him makes the story. So yes, in a sense, it is about him. He is one of the MCs.
Anyway. It does really have that heart of a Gundam series. At least for maybe it's just because it's this mecha. But it was giving me like a lot of nostalgia for like earlier Gundam style sort of shows, like um Gurren Lagann, like a lot of your spin-off Gundams, like not your typical like Gundam Seed or Gundam Unicorn or other ones that I can't think of right now. Wing.
Yeah.
No, I can't think of it anymore.
Yeah. No. No. It's yeah.
Iron Blooded Orphans is I count that as a spin-off one too, because it doesn't feel like.
No, that's fully Gundam.
I know, but it feels more like it doesn't feel like mainline Gundam, you know what I mean? Like it doesn't feel space opera-y as space opera. I don't know.
The story is a lot more closed in relation to the politics because there's less political representatives involved, more military based.
Yeah.
So it gives you.
Whereas, like, I'd still even class like 86. From what I saw, actually, I didn't finish 86. I really want to, but I forgot about it. Like Kurgeos, I'd consider that a Gundam, even though it doesn't go into space.
I don't, but it is.
Really?
Yeah.
What about it doesn't Gundam for you?
Yeah.
I mean, it's made by Sunrise.
I don't know. But it's actually a part of the Gundam universe.
Is it actually?
It's not just animated and made by them. It's actually a part of that universe.
That's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah. It predates all the wars.
Well, yeah, because they're still on Earth, and they're only just getting into cool flying Gundams.
Exactly. They're just starting to build the robots and doing the wars.
Oh man, I love Kurgeos so much.
Yeah.
I was
you're right.
With them
you still
because
are.
Clamp with their character designs and like the elegant, goofy long limbs.
They're spider characters.
Yeah.
It's just
I've got one of the wall scrolls hanging up of Triple X Holic, one of the series that they did before working on the character designs for Kurgeos.
Yeah, but really their design's always been.
Oh yeah,
that design.
You look at like Cloud Captor Sakura, Tsubasa, Holic. There was another one that I can't think of. I think it's just called X. I don't think it ever got an anime. I think it's just manga.
It's just a film. X.
I think it's different to that one.
Damn it! Really? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't
X
think
is
they
like
did
their cross series. Like it kind of combines a lot of their different properties.
Crossover, not X as in like the film X. Okay.
Yeah. And not the film Triple X with Vin Diesel either.
No, nothing can be that.
Man, we've gotten so off topic. I've forgotten what we're talking about.
We're talking about Hero Organization, and
thank you.
I've actually while you were chatting away, I actually went back and had a look at that first chapter, and I've now realized how much you need to read because you don't know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
You need to read the second one.
That's right. We went down the Gundam rabbit hole.
Yeah. And the fact that and initially it looks like Gundam universe environment, but it's not.
Oh, okay.
It's not. It's no, it's still pretty much a standard high school kind of deal. With actually, it probably has more in line with Full Metal Panic
Hmm.
in a way, not as goofy and silly.
Not what I
but
thought I was signing up for, but okay.
It's kind of a blend between military high school kind of environments.
Is he like early 20s?
No, sorry,
he,
he's
late
like
teens?
teens. He's teens.
Yeah, I wasn't sure how
Like,
much of a
he's
time
like
skip
16
it
or
was.
something like that.
Oh, okay, so something like a 10-year gap, roughly. Because I think he was 6 or 8.
Oh, wow. First chapter's 78 pages. Second chapter's 80.
Oh my god, okay.
Yes. Yeah. You got a big old meaty bit of work to go through there. And then it goes back to regular size.
It's like Bug Ego. Those chapters are chunky boys.
Yeah. But you get like a start to...
It's a self-contained story.
Yeah. Which I love. It doesn't let the vibe break. It keeps the vibe moving forwards, and you're not.
And because it is so
between chapters
episodic, I feel like that's a good choice.
Yeah, almost like it's designed to be made into an anime. Here's your episode lineup. You don't need to break it into chapters and do this and that and work out where to put in your episode breaks. Nah, here you go.
I swear he's taking acid while writing this.
I really like his new sign and angle.
The lucid dreaming chapter was weird.
It was great. I really, really, really enjoyed that. That whole scene.
They wake up in bed together.
The scene where he breaks into his dream and he's naked around his freaking campfire, and the other kid's like counting the wrinkles in his butthole. He's like, this can't be fake. And you're just like, this is madness. Absolute madness. But it's a lot of fun. It's really a lot of fun. And anybody who
what's the next hack?
It'll be interesting to see how far he takes it. I hope it doesn't go too long.
So we got time travel, lucid dreaming. What's the next one? What's chapter 3?
What was the next one?
Can't remember.
Man, don't get me on the spot like that. I can't remember.
Do better.
Can't remember.
I haven't even
so many other things.
Even read it.
There's got so many other things going on in my head. You know what? While I'm working that out, Marshall King. How much do you love that?
How's it going?
How much do you love that?
I still need to read chapter 2. It's nothing against anything at the moment. I'm just so done with school settings.
It's not even a school setting. So I did read chapter 2.
Yeah.
It is a school setting, but everybody is like 30, 40.
Okay.
So it's a boot camp, you could say, as opposed to a school setting. And everybody carries guns and they're allowed to shoot each other. So it's a little bit different. Okay. But and the art's still really cool. It's just I can't see any individuality in it. In the character setup.
The main character is Ace. And the parallels to Ace are pretty distinct for me, but mainly because his dad was like this notorious Western dude. Like it, I know it'll be a little bit of a stretch, but the parallels between like Gold Roger being Ace's dad and whatnot, it feels, and like he looks almost identical. Although I haven't seen him with clothes on, so
do you think
just his hat?
Do you think he went to Oda and said, "Hey, can I do an Ace spin-off?
Ace but Western?
Can I do an Ace spin-off?" And Oda's gone, nah. So we went and did this
I'm gonna do it
instead.
anyway.
Yeah, I'm gonna do my own thing without you, Dad. He went off and did his own thing, and now he's stuck. I don't know. I hope it gets better, but I have no faith in it, unfortunately, at the moment.
I'm just trying to think. I don't. As much as I love Boichi's art, I couldn't really get into Sunken Rock very past a few chapters.
It's a weird sense of humor. Like it's
Yeah,
just weird.
very odd.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, I love Dr. Stone, but that wasn't really his.
That was written by
And I
someone
really
else.
enjoyed his his spin-off for that, which I think was all done by him.
Yeah. Was that the
yeah, I
moon
don't
one?
know. Yeah,
So he's responsible for the weird moon arc.
the little AI thing drone up on the moon.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was only like, I think it was a single Tankobon. So like maybe like 15 chapters, if that.
Yeah.
There is a new series that I've yet to check out on Manga Plus as well, called Love is Overkill. The art looks pretty cute.
Yeah, that did look pretty cute. Love is overkill. Oh, yeah. Okay. I flicked through that. Not my thing.
Another
Not my thing.
rom-com.
Yeah. And it's kind of I think it's a gag series.
Okay.
Yeah, really. I don't think it's like a rom-com. I think it's a bit more of a gag series.
More comedy than romance.
Maybe. Wait, dude's eating people while she falls in love with him.
The summary is meet Small Milwaukee. That's an interesting name.
Milwaukee.
I kept seeing it as Milky Way because dyslexia, maybe? I don't know. A genius scientist at Deslike Prison. I'm gonna make this bigger. I can't read it. Otherwise known as Dead End Prison. Small has been grinding away nonstop with research and work, leaving her little chance to fall in love. However, one fateful day when the executed assassin... Yeah, it does say executed. Executed assassin known as Painkiller is brought into her lab. Schmore accidentally uses her secret elixir on him. So I'm assuming brings him back from the dead?
Yeah. Frankenstein style.
Nice. Could be a lot of fun.
Could be.
Okay. Check back in next week to see what we think about it when we actually give it a read.
We'll give it a read.
Or at least I'll give it a read.
I'll give it a read. Okay, twist my arm. I say, but I give all new series a read, regardless.
We did get another one-shot as well, which I want to check out, which is called The Corpse and the Sword. It looks really
it's interesting.
Pretty.
It's very
you've read it already?
Yeah. It's a nice little story, and it's surrounded by mythos, Jiangxi stuff. That's what it is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
I see.
Got a bit of yokai, got a bit of that in there. So I think you'll enjoy it. It's definitely mysticism.
I do kind of miss Jiangxi X.
Oh man, that was such a good series.
It was very
I enjoyed that so much. The action in it was phenomenal.
Actually, that's something we forgot to mention about Centuria, was that you really enjoyed the pacing of it.
Yeah. It's fast. It doesn't sit around too much.
No.
It beats enough on character story, but it doesn't flood the page with their freaking life story. You just get a little explanation as to why they're doing things, and it just jumps into. It's definitely not giving you the full breakdown like Kagurabachi does.
I really like I forgot her name, Muscle Mummy.
Yeah.
She's a really cool character.
Interesting
Still
character.
don't really know much about TT, but I really
Is
like
that
her.
how you pronounce it?
I think Tai Tai. How else would you pronounce it?
I was just saying titty.
Titty. Yeah, right.
It's I know it's not quite spelt right, but every time I see it on the page, I giggle a little. Makes it a bit more fun to read. Yeah.
So have you been introduced to the fortune teller lady yet?
No.
Okay.
No. We've
must
literally
be
just sorted out the forest creature, and that's where I'm at.
Yeah, so that'll be like the next chapter by the sounds of it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yes. Ah, it was back. It was back this week.
Dan.
And
we got so many spreads.
So many spreads. It was spreading all over the place.
There was like 3 or 4 of them. Oh, it was so good. I
really like it when he does that top panel and then does a series of 4 panels underneath.
Yeah, that was the 4th spread. I still count that as a spread.
Oh yeah, that's definitely a spread. Anything that goes over 2 pages like that is a spread. But I really like that format where you're getting the full spread, but you're also getting action in between. I
really liked I'm sure he's done it before, but I really noticed it mainly because it's been like a month. I've forgotten her name.
Description.
The dancing girl.
The one with the hair.
Yeah. There's a specific panel where the show of motion in that panel is just having her there twice, and it translates so well that you don't even like really register that it doesn't make sense from like a visual point. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if you stop and stare at it, it doesn't make sense. But as far as flow goes, if you're going from panel to panel, it's kind of like an in between when animating. So it's like you've got the two frames either side, and then the middle panel is just tying them together. It just makes it flow really beautifully. A lot of the action that he does flows kind of like that.
I'm sure that none of them are dead, but to be left on like a cliffhanger for after a month, to be like death baited with one of the new casts, so rude.
Yeah, I didn't know how.
I'm not really invested much in her anyway, but
no, she was, and I looked at her, I'm like, they'll fix her up.
Yeah, she'll be fine.
I'll sort that out. They don't like leaving stuff hanging like that.
I would like to use that little segue into Zenshu, however, because good God, are you caught up with the latest episodes? I think it's episode 9 now.
No, I think I'm an episode behind. Damn it.
Okay, well, so you've seen the bump episode? Where so. What's her name? Natsuki Hirose, something like that. she's like trying to capture uh first love, and that we get a montage of 3 stages of her life. So when she was
Oh yeah.
the
That was
kid,
that was a really cool episode.
oh,
I
that
love
episode
that.
was so good. So that episode ties directly into what happens in the next episode, um, between her and Luke.
Yeah.
And the episode 8, the what I'm titling as the bump episode, is so well done. Capturing.
I love that all of the first loves were someone else.
Yeah, and she's completely oblivious.
Completely oblivious, and everything is taken from their perspective. She's like a background character in her own story.
So
It's
like the thing that really touched me about it was that her first love being animation and drawing and just the study of the craft and the passion that she had behind that. Like with her, the first character that you get introduced to, which was a really cool little Yuri,
yeah,
little like what?
cute.
How old were they? Been like 12,
Yeah,
12-year-old romance, between like this girl who starts moving away, and is like just infatuated with her burning passion for drawing and animation, that she falls in love with her and has that first bump, and then you move on to the next one, where it's the track and field star.
I
And
love that one. It's so good.
that one was so good. That one was my favorite because that run cycle.
Yeah,
and her
I want you to run like this.
Like her being so fed up with the spinning wheel leg animation of like your cartoons of the time, and it being a shortcut, versus to her in middle school, like showing up kids in college, which was your next jump ahead as well. And then you've got the failure to launch guy who ends up being in college for like 8 years.
Yeah. He was a very interesting character, that guy.
That one was fun. I still really, really liked the track and field one the most.
That's the one that had the most traction.
Shut up. I did really like how they added a bit more depth to the manager character as well, because up until that point it did kind of feel like she was a caricature of what was wrong with, like, I guess upper management in Mappa, where it was just like, oh, I found a cash cow, I'm gonna bleed them dry and whatnot.
Get to work.
But,
let's go.
In this one, it like showed that she actually cared for Natsuki and really wanted her to grow as a person, not just create magnum opus after magnum opus and wear herself down to the bone, but realize that she's probably neurodivergent as hell and completely oblivious to any social cues, and she's probably going to die alone at this point. So she then forces her to start because it's not her first work, but there was a significance to the role, and I can't remember what it was. Because she'd already directed a few, like an anime before, which was like the Rokugo Sailor Moon thing, which I would love to see.
That looked really cool.
So much fun. But then the first love one seemed like it was like the next level, like it was the next step up in her career path almost. I can't remember exactly what it was, but anyway. And so it frames her a bit differently as well, and made me warm up to her a lot more, until she literally chokes to death on the clam. But the the scene with her in the alleyway where like the other animators in the studio go to the exec and they're all like, look, you need to put a stop to this because she's harassing people in the streets. And it's like her like the late afternoon and she's got like the grudge hair and she's like there's two schoolgirls walk past and she's like, hello children, please tell me, have you had your bump yet? And it's really unnerving. Like she's gonna get arrested.
Yeah. That was it really I guess what it really showed you was her dedication to try and encapsulate the thing that they wanted.
Yeah. Understanding
100%.
And replicating it on the paper.
Yeah. She didn't want to half-ass it. She didn't want it, her first independently produced film to be a piece of crap.
Oh, that's what it was. It was a film. It was going from series to film. Yeah, that's right.
She'd worked on series, and then the studio said, we want you to produce a brand new, not based on anything else movie. And then
without
I guess
spoiling too much, the next episode then kind of flips that script a little bit. So that episode 8 is really focused on the weight of drawing and the time and passion and understanding and everything that goes into it, and it breaks it down and makes it feel really technical. And then episode 9, I mean, we've been seeing it leading up to this episode, but Luke finally realizes that he's in love with Natsuki, and she can't reciprocate that because to her, he's just lines on paper. But where she is at the moment, everything is real. And because everything's diverged so far from the original property, plus there's also another cameo character from someone who's also been reincarnated into this world.
Oh, yeah. Did we touched on that a little bit earlier as well? Story-wise, they talked about it. Yeah. Yep.
So we do get that reveal in this episode as well, and they have a verbal confrontation, and they say that they earned their wings when they were reincarnated, but then pose the question back to Natsuki, being like, what have you earned? What have you gained since reincarnating here? And she does end up having a full date, and a void appears, and we get another animation sequence where we get a Gundam, funnily enough, in this one.
Nice. I wonder if they got some Gundam animators on board.
I feel like this is going to be 12 or 13 episodes. I don't think it'll be a full 24. I feel like
that's okay. I'm okay with that.
I know, but I'm really enjoying it, and I kind of would like a full 24 episodes.
you gotta boil it in. If you want the good stuff, you gotta boil it in. So
I'm greedy.
I know you're greedy, but you know what happens when you're greedy? You end up with filler.
It's getting it's still keeping the meta aspects as well.
Yeah.
With the interactions with the other character. And it's very obvious when the reveal happens, especially with how some of the outworld real life characters that have been represented in the film, like the manager as the bar wench. It's a similar sort of thing to that, where you'll get the reveal and you'll be like, oh yeah, of course, duh, they look identical. But yeah, it was really cool. It's definitely my favorite isekai of the season.
It's starting to feel like that right now. Like you go, oh, I watch anime. No, you don't. You watch isekai. Like you don't have a choice.
I mean,
that's all there is to watch.
This season actually is like the first season in a while where there's not as many. There's still a few, but it's like half of what it usually is. Still like,
but percentage wise
or something.
Like percentage wise, it's still taking up like 80% of the market, even though there's less. So instead of it being 90% of the market, because you've got those additional ones, it's like 80%.
It's weird that it's stuck around for so long. Like it's been nearly 20 years of. Actually, no, it's probably a bit excessive. It's been like 15 years
of the constant
of like just isekai, and I would probably like around the SAO. So that
we're gonna blame everything on SAO
with like the video game implementations of like video game screens and inventory screens, that type of thing.
Give me real isekai. Give me Escaflan.
Well, actually, no, you skipped season 2 of ReZero, didn't you?
No, I've seen it, man. Seen it via flashbacks.
Well.
Okay, no. I will. After I finish this season, I'll go back and watch it. I'm really enjoying. Look, to be honest, I can't remember why I stopped season 1. I think it's partially because I think the start of season 1 takes a bit to get going.
And
like that first few times he dies.
His name's also Natsuki. Subaru, of course. It also kind of sucks at the start, but on purpose.
Yeah,
kind of like how
and I get
sucks,
that,
but like in a better way.
But it's the story progression basically halts in its position for like 6 episodes while he works out why he just keeps dying. Yeah. So that getting through those episodes is just a little bit, I guess, a little bit more difficult than I wanted it to be, considering I knew it was only going to get better from there on.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll just I
think the director's cuts of the season 1 are better, like pacing wise, and I think cut content in there as well and uncensored.
Okay. Yeah.
But there's like 12 episodes and they're all like movie length.
That's right. I can deal with that.
Which is cool. I like that ReZero gets to do like movie length episodes a lot more frequently than any other series.
Yeah, I think they should make that a stock standard. Every time there's a next season, first episode, movie length. Bang.
Yeah.
Lay down the premise, give us all the background information instead of having to spread it across 3 or 4 episodes and waste your time.
And then you don't have to do the 3 episode rule.
Yeah, and then you just go for it. Hit the ground running. I did enjoy that. I like that format. It's moving forward fast in the 3rd season, but at the same time not.
Admittedly, season 2 is pretty slow. Apparently, so the arc that season 2 covers is thick, like really chunky. So it's one arc, but it's bigger than the first 3, and season 1's just like the first 3, so it significantly slows down, and even then they cut quite a bit apparently from like the web novel. Season 3 pacing though is so snappy, and I'm really hoping that it continues. It doesn't feel like it misses a beat. It's very onto the next.
It doesn't hang on the one character for too long. It sort of jumps and gives you coverage across.
I'm liking that we're finally getting some information about what the hell is going on with the the cult leaders and their special abilities and how they're kind of tied to things.
And what the hell are they?
Our world. Oh man,
Yeah.
it's weird as shit. But it's like, I think it's like Roman. No, yeah, I think it's the Roman gods, like, and like stars. And like astrology tying into
he's
it. And a lot of
man, I was
mythology.
watching and he just starts blurting out something about Mars and I know who you are and your heart doesn't beat. I'm just like, what are you talking about?
Oh,
And
it was so convoluted, but it's like the first bit of like, oh, okay, because like the first he kills Sloth in season 1, I think it is, and he's
but does
Edelgeist? Yeah, he ends up, I think, from memory, he takes on his magic. So Sloth has like an astral arm that comes out of his tum tum. He's much better at it than Subaru is, but Subaru only has the one arm, and they're invisible. So like in season 1, he's getting like beaten up by invisible arms, sort of thing. Like, it was weird.
Yeah,
good shit though.
Excellent.
It's my favorite isekai that's reoccurring.
Yeah. Look, as far as isekais go, it definitely has the hands up on everybody else that's currently floating around. Not enough people talking about it either.
I know, it's weird. Yeah. I like that ReZero is the deconstruction of an otaku as well.
Yes, a proper deconstruction, not a...
Yeah. It's kind of like... yeah. It's a... Yeah.
It's giving us growth, which is what we want. The character is growing.
In a way where... At the start of the series, he is just a boy as well, and I think that is what grinds people a little bit at the start, because he's very cringy. He's very self-centered, but it's very a lot of the stuff that he does is very typical boy behavior, like for around like the 16 to 18 age range. Does he have some delusions of grandeur? A little bit. He's got a little bit of the Trini syndrome. Would I want to be in his situation and have his ability? Not really.
No, I don't want to feel that.
That's the whole point, is that it's like what's that? You want to get isekai'd into another world? Well, it's probably not going to be great. Here's why. And if you
this is what we're gonna do
to face those obstacles, it's gonna be shit. And like season 3, like he's a completely different person. He's actually becoming worthy of the title of being a Belia's Knight. Really, really fun stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, that last episode was animated beautifully as well.
Oh yeah. Some stunning. The whole series has been quite stunning to watch. Like, they've put a lot of work into it across the board.
It's White Fox, isn't it?
I don't know. I never really sort of stopped to look.
I think it's White Fox.
You'll probably search quicker than I do.
My internet has been so slow. Yes, it is.
Okay.
And they've done, like, they did. Oh, that's why I love them so much. They did Steins Gate. Devil is a Part-Timer. Akame ga Kill.
Man, I had an interesting relationship with that series.
Oh, Arafaretto is them as well.
Kill. Oh, nice. Speaking of which, have you caught up?
I haven't. I got up to season 2 and I've kind of stopped because it was a lot to binge.
Yeah, I would say
it reminds me of like all the anime that I would watch and worry that my mom would like burst in.
It has its moments. It definitely has its moments.
Yeah,
And,
it does. Especially with the dragon.
Okay. Yeah, they've done some really cool stuff.
Yeah.
So season 3 of Arifureta is a lot better than 2, by the way. Yeah. All the characters, it's like all the characters have settled in, and they're not adding any new characters at the moment. So it's just them being them for a season, which is nice, actually, because it gives you a different dynamic. Peacekeeper, Goblin Slayer. Okay, yeah. Busy guys.
Brain. There is. I had it. Where'd it go? So there was a series called Mitama Sexurity. It's like security, but they're like sexy boys. The artist of that is launching a new robot comedy series called Chuck Beans on Manga Plus.
Chuck Beans.
Yeah.
I want to know. I want to know what it's about.
March 2nd, so not too far away. But I'm more interested in Mitama's sexuturity. God, it's hard to say.
Sexurity.
Yeah.
Sexurity. Okay. Yeah. Sex. Ah, that one.
Looks like it ran for a little bit. It had 5 tongues.
Yeah. It ran for a little bit.
It does look like a bit of a gag series as well.
Yeah, it is. I read a couple of chapters and just went, nah, not for me. It had some cool humor. It had really quirky, weird humor as opposed to a sort of standard gag manga style stuff. So it intrigued me a little bit, but it still didn't. It's my fault. I can't read them with the right timing.
Yeah.
Like the right comedic timing. That's where I fall over.
I generally also struggle to get into the gag manga unless it has something else kind of there to like for me to latch onto. Yeah, I generally struggle.
Yeah. Should we talk about the elephant in the room? The 3-dimensionally rendered elephant?
Oh no, just a sec, because there's this one that I wanted to quickly talk about.
Yeah.
It's called Ghost Fixes by
I swear
Yasuki
you said
Tanaka.
ghost sphincters, but maybe I didn't.
Yeah.
Close
enough.
Ghost Fixes.
Recommended by Sakamoto Days.
Yeah. It's been running for a little bit, hasn't it? Yeah. I've read a few, and it's kind of a mystery series, like a mystery solving series.
Yeah, okay.
Based around ghosts and possession and stuff like that.
It looks cute.
It is. It's a bit more slice of life than what you'd expect. So yes, go give it a read because you might enjoy it very much.
There's also a weird new app that's just for One Piece. Nothing else, just One Piece.
Yeah. That makes sense. Now that he's in the top 10 highest selling authors in the world.
Yeah, he outsold J.K. Rowling.
Yep.
Like Stephen King. There's a couple
Yeah.
others on there too.
Now he's up against freaking Shakespeare.
Yeah. So yeah, you can get that there. The only other thing that I've noticed that you can do on it is that there's a portrait generator that'll AI you a wanted poster.
Is this the one that he got upset because you couldn't do like nudie pics?
I have no idea what you're talking
Oh, you
about,
didn't
man.
hear about that? He
No.
apparently got because they were talking about this generator, so it puts your face into the into the poster, and his first question was, "Can you upload nudes?" Like he went,
Erda,
and they're
what?
like, "No, you can't do that." And apparently, Oda was very upset by this.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. It's very him. It's very him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, he is a
Okay.
funny man.
That explains why that conversation happened now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was this recent or?
It was pretty recent, yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
In
So it's
the
been
past
around
couple
for a
of
little
months.
bit, but it's only just become available in English. That's the big announcement.
Only just.
I don't know why you would just read it in any of the other apps. Pay an artist to do your wanted poster. I don't know. Feels weird just having an app just for One Piece.
It's because it's a bit silly. But you know, the world is full of silly people. Doing silly
Bad
things.
segue is bad, but
This is
a
a train wreck
quick
of a
reminder.
segue.
We are currently running a Kickstarter for Super Ready Battle Armor to go into its first volume manga tankobon format.
Proper tank format.
Yeah.
None of that A4 business.
It's the Viz signature one, so it's the slightly bigger one.
It's like a little bit bigger.
Fully re-lettered and with a never seen before prologue. Yeah, I don't know what happened, so I just sort of roll with it.
You turned into Sylvester.
I know. We've got two fantastic variant covers. One done by Mr. I Eat My Wings himself.
Yes.
And one done by Kieran. Sticker packs, enamel pins. You can also get other comics. Or original artwork as well, and build your own bundles. If you can share it around, if you can't or don't want to back it, that's cool. But yeah, if you can share it around, that'd be greatly appreciated. We're trying to get funding so we can get the books printed and then sent into comic book stores around Australia and other places, maybe. Who knows?
That's right. Yeah. Do it now.
Link will be in the description and also in the live chat, and just also look for Super Ready on Kickstarter. That'll work too.
Yeah.
Or any of the socials. You know the drill. Okay, now we can talk about Momentary Lily. I forgot all about what it was called.
Why is that? Why did you forget?
Look, I will give it to them. They are improving. Okay. Do I think that it's still good? It's watchable.
At 2 times speed.
No, wow. I mean, it's definitely better than what was it? It's Gohan's Handshakers. Handshakers made me feel sick.
Yeah.
And the second one that they did, the girl with the glasses that she forgets.
Yeah.
Glasses. Yeah, that one. That one also hurt me. the 3D in this one, it's very egregious and sometimes really ugly, but also sometimes it's not that bad. I still
I
would prefer it not.
I found it rather disgusting to watch, but mainly because it wasn't just the 3D. It's the level of disrespect they have for the 2D artists.
Yeah.
Like, there's actually some really, really nice 2D work in this. And
I would even argue that there's some really nice 3D sections as well.
it has moments, but the
It
problem
does.
is the 3D is so gaudy in nature, like they've extracted freaking graphics from the 2000s and put them in
The
there.
can. The
Oh,
can
and
in
they
her
didn't
hand
even put
was
their
so
fingers
bad.
around the can. They just pasted. It's just a hand like this, right? And they pasted a can over the top of it. That was it. That motion. So they didn't even
and then like
bother.
followed up, they had like a really cool little action scene of like introducing all the characters with their cool shit. And some of those little intro sequences looked pretty damn good. And then
Huge
there was
there
one
for the
that really
jiggles.
made me feel ick.
Yeah.
There was one in particular that was really kind of hard to watch because the camera was just doing these ones while the character was also doing these ones in the opposite direction, and I'm like, oh, a little bit motion sick.
Yeah.
And we can talk about the two elephants in the room because we know exactly where all the attention was paid. There's one character called Erika-chan, and her personality shines through all of the other characters because of the attention to detail that they give her.
An immense, I reckon half of the budget was given to her just to get the frame rate that was involved.
It's so ridiculous. So
it's like someone's turning the zero gravity on and off.
All right, so quickly give us a quick rundown of what the series is about, Logan. We're ripping it apart technically, but what is Momentary?
Okay, so Momentary Lily is a post-apocalyptic environment where these big giant creatures came down, I'm assuming from space, and are erasing people everywhere on the planet. Like, they just disappear. You are introduced to 5? Is it 5 girls?
Yeah, 6 by the end.
Yeah. So you're introduced to 5 girls who are having a cutesy little moment, chat between themselves at the start there. And then a monster comes in to attack, and they do a whole action sequence and defeat the monster using big giant weapons.
Then hard cut to slice of life curry making.
This is the thing. It's almost like the whole defeat the monster element is completely unnecessary.
An afterthought. Or just there to like hook you.
It's kind of like they've gone to the producers. Once someone's gone to the producers and they're gone, we've got this really cool idea for a sci-fi series, but we don't know what to fill the gaps with. And someone's turned up and gone, I really want to do a series about slice of life with food in it, but I don't have a proper like structure to where I want to place this. Apple Pen. So they they end up with some weird amalgamation of trying to look edgy, cool, and cute, silly on the down low, while all this terrible 3D background work is happening and all these gaudy colors are just being thrown in your face.
That's
and
the
everything
weird thing about
moves. Everything is always moving all the time.
Is the weird, shiny, hypercolor, always moving shit in the background. I don't understand what their obsession is with it.
Because they think it's detailed. They think it's cool. That's what it is.
I mean, No, it feels really jarring. Like you've got
Yeah.
the weird little things around the trees, and I don't. It doesn't even feel like set dressing because it just doesn't blend very well. Um, the 3D abominations that are the weird alien things don't look too bad because they don't fall in the uncanny valley at all because they're weird
No, they're just
geometry
things
blobs in like a human shape.
that apparently can
Yeah, I
turn
don't
their
know.
body into anything, and they choose swords.
Yeah, I still get stuck on just the weird metallic oil spill
Yeah.
colorings, and it's so shiny. Everything's so shiny.
Do you know what it is? It's that time in the late 90s when 3D was starting to become a really big thing. Everything was chrome. You remember that? Everything was like that, had that chrome finish to it
It's kind
because
of
they
like Code
couldn't actually
Lyoko.
put texture on it.
Yeah.
And it feels lazy.
I mean, there are definitely spots, like a lot of corners cut.
Yeah.
Um,
But
like
then the
it's
2D animation is done really well. Like if they
and I
just
think
done the whole show with 2D
which they're
animation,
capable of doing. It's
it
just they
probably
have
would
these
have been
weird
fine.
3D pet projects that always hurt my stomach.
You know what this is? It's one of those companies that has bought into a product, and now that they have it, they have to use it in order to justify purchasing it.
Could be, yeah.
That's what I'm seeing here. I'm seeing all these businesses using old software and forcing their way and making it, and squeezing it into the slot to make it work because they purchased it and they don't have a choice and they don't want to waste money. So
Yeah.
uh,
It's weird.
I don't know. I don't know. I hope that their next venture is something amazing. I really do, because they're trying. I will give
Yeah.
them that.
And I mean,
They are trying.
technical wise, it's getting better. It's looking less and less jarring, and the choice to blur the 2D and the 3D elements is working
Yeah.
better in this than it was in the
In the
previous
previous
two.
incarnations, definitely.
And
Definitely.
they're
They
not
are
they're not
starting to
going.
develop their own design, but I think that they just picked the wrong content. I feel like that they should lead into more of a red line kind of vibe. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about there.
That's the
Like,
thing. If they lean less into people, that will give less uncanny valley, which will benefit the tech that they're trying to utilize.
yeah, yeah, and they don't even need to be the most realistic, 3D out there, because you shouldn't. It's 3D and 2D should be looking one way or the other. They shouldn't be looking in two different directions, which is what this is. You can clearly tell what's 3D and what's 2D, and you can clearly tell when they put 2D in 3D space. I don't know if you caught much of that, but they use a lot of 2D planes in a 3D space that
Yeah,
when
it
they're
was
moving
very
the camera,
jarring in
yeah,
the previous one.
yeah,
It didn't
in
even
the
feel, yeah, again, it wasn't as bad in this one as it was in the previous.
no,
Um,
no,
the
which
bespectacled beauty.
is a good thing. It means that they're leading into getting better. I hope one day we get to see a go hands as one of the top studios. I would love
Yeah,
to see it. I would love to see that underdog level. All they need is that one person to come into the studio, that one producer, that one animation director to come in and go, this is what we're doing. We're going to lock into a direction. We're going to create a style. We're going to push in that direction, and it's not going to look like vomit. And it will be
I
great.
would love like even if they did something mech related, that'd be kind of cool. Mech in
Yeah.
3D could work very well.
We've kind of been doing it for years.
True.
Yeah, they have.
Yeah, I was even thinking, I was like,
Some's a
yeah,
little
no,
bit more.
there's some 3D in Code Geass as well, but it's the percentage and the way and the time and place.
Yeah, yes, and it's very selective about where they place this stuff and how they use it.
And they never used it on the characters. It was only
Yeah,
generally on vehicles,
yeah,
more so than anything. I remember the cars being really stand out.
yeah, yeah. Anytime, I don't know, 3D in animation at the moment seems to be just used to cut corners,
Yeah,
really. And sometimes
or
it's
for
done really
comedic
well.
effect now.
Yeah, sometimes I feel like they do it just for funsies. Like those horse walk cycles, I swear they play with them. I swear they muck with them so they look stupid. So they look like two people in a horse costume walking.
That made me feel so uncomfortable.
What was that again? I can't remember what show it was. But it made me laugh so hard. And that's the kind of stuff I don't mind seeing in there because I feel like that the animators have done that on purpose. They haven't tried to do something, realistic. They've tried really hard to do the opposite and make it stand out and look goofy as hell.
You sent it to me, and I was with my mom, who was pretty big with horses growing up, and I'm just like leaned over and was like, "You ever seen a horse move like this?" And she's just like,
nightmares.
No.
Yeah. No. So it's I hope they come through and they do something good. And if Gohan, you're listening to us here, you can hire me. You can hire me. I can help direct you in the correct direction. I'd be happy to. No, it'll be good. I will continue. I'm actually going to keep watching it. I'm going to see if it gets any better. I felt like that first episode was really jarring. They were trying to set a certain tone. They didn't really have a direction where they were going, from what I can tell. So I'm hoping it progresses better over the period. They could surprise us.
Well,
I can't imagine it getting worse.
There's been whispers about Cheat Skill getting a season 2 as well. So.
I'm down. I am down.
Surely, with like the popularity of season 1, even though it baffles me still, surely they've got more money. So I can't expect season 2 would be.
I'm telling you, they did it on purpose. Why?
No way. I don't know. It's been too long, honestly. I don't even hate it anymore. It's just cringy.
I kind of miss it in the sense that it amazed me every episode. Like each episode amazed me at how they could twist and turn and make things even more cringeworthy or even more disgusting to look at or cut more corners. And the way that it dropped right back to the point where they were using, a frame per second while just panning the camera.
Wasn't there also a bear in a camp? Like when they went on a field trip or something? Was that Cheat Skill? And he basically punched out a bear or something.
I think that's Cheat Skill.
Did he bear hug the bear? Man, it's been too long.
I'm sure there were bears. Yeah, there was a bear in that. I'm pretty sure there was a bear in that.
Yeah.
We need to watch it again. We'll sit down and do a rewatch. I don't think so. He says
Maybe.
better things to do with my time.
Alrighty. Well, I think that'll be it for us for this week. Tune in next week, 8 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time for episode 83. We'll be chatting over some more manga. I'll be reading more of Hero Organization to give you more thoughts on that. Clearly, my first impressions was not accurate. Although kind of, but not really.
It is. Yeah, I think you'll be very surprised by the second chapter.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I'm glad you got a good chunk of Centuria.
Yeah. I'll definitely keep gobbling that up and enjoy it.
It's weekly as well. I thought it was bi-weekly, but
no, it releases on Mondays, I think. Yeah,
I think so. Yeah. Well,
along with everything else.
Yeah. Well, somewhere around there.
Not everything. Anyway, that's good.
Yeah. I've been Brad.
I've been Logan.
And we'll catch you next week.
Next week.